A new film released in cinemas last week, The Moment, the Charli XCX film. And on paper, it sounds simple. A behind-the-scenes look at a pop star's life. Except it isn't, because it's scripted, performed by actors, carefully constructed. But it looks like a documentary. But it's fiction. But it's fiction. That confusion is the entire point.
Hi, it's Charli.
For as long as we can all remember, films tried very hard to tell you what they were. Documentary meant truth. Fiction meant story. Even when documentaries manipulated reality, they still claimed reality. But The Moment doesn't even try. It presents the texture of authenticity without the promise of it. You're not watching events. You're watching a performance of how events feel. And that's weirdly perfect for a pop star, because pop culture now lives in a permanent behind the scenes. Artists don't just release music anymore. They release recording processes, the emotions around it, the persona construction, the breakdowns, the marketing, the reactions. We no longer consume the art, we consume the context.
You know, it's funny. Cinema once captured the world. Then it recreated the world. Then it built other worlds entirely. Now it reconstructs the experience of living inside media itself. And that's a very different job. A typical documentary would always be fake because its view of reality is always curated. But The Moment goes further by admitting it. It's fictionalizing reality in order to be more honest about it. The Moment isn't asking, did this really happen? It's asking, is this what it feels like to exist as a public identity? Truth has shifted from factual accuracy to emotional recognizability.
And actually, this isn't new. Docudrama as a genre has always blurred fact with fiction. But in an age of multi-platform culture, it's had a very fragmented facelift. Now stories don't live in one film or series. They split across Instagram, TikTok, press cycles, fan edits, reaction videos. Multiple voices contribute. It feels democratic, like everyone is shaping the narrative.
But here's the paradox. The more voices we add, the more layers of performance we create, the more behind the scenes we get, the further we drift from something stable enough to call truth. Docudrama used to reconstruct reality. Now reality itself is reconstructed collectively, in public.
And films like The Moment aren't distorting that. They're reflecting that. Because audiences now live like this every day. Your memories are half photographs, half posts, half things you staged for yourself. We document our lives performatively. So a purely observational documentary now feels, ironically, artificial. Reality itself has become more stylized, which means cinema has no choice but to follow.
Which means we're arguably entering a new kind of film in this category. Not documentary, not fiction, not mockumentary, something else, something a little different. A cinema of performed reality. Stories that aren't about events, but about identity construction. And pop stars, people who literally live as self-authored characters, are the perfect subject for it. So The Moment isn't blurring the line between real and fake. It's not that radical, but it is showing the line doesn't exist anymore. Cinema once recorded reality. Now it records how we experience reality through multiple media. And that might be an uncomfortable thought, because it means that films aren't becoming less truthful. They're becoming more truthful about a world where truth itself is openly staged.